Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about something really powerful. How to turn what feels like a devastating loss into a real turning point. We're going to explore a framework for finding strength when it feels like everything is stacked against you, and it's all rooted in faith.
You know that feeling, right? We've all been there. You're just staring down a problem that is so big it feels like a literal giant, and you feel so small, so powerless. So, what do? What's the very first step when you're just frozen in that moment?
So let's get into it. We're going to break down how you can tap into a source of strength that goes way beyond your own personal limits, especially when the odds just feel impossible. And it all starts with kind of shifting how we look at the problem in the first place.
The key to this whole process, the central idea we're digging into, is a single concept: faith. But to really understand its power, we need to get on the same page with a very specific definition.
Now, this is super important. We're not just talking about wishful thinking here. The definition we're using positions faith as this solid belief that the impossible can actually happen. And here's the crucial part. It says faith operates where fear is absent. That suggests they're like oil and water. They just can't exist in the same space.
So look at this. It really breaks down that clash. On one side, you've got faith, which is like an engine, right? It believes in the impossible, it empowers you to act, it gives you confidence. But then on the other side, you've got fear. And fear is like an anchor. It paralyzes you with doubt, it stops you from making any progress, and it just loves uncertainty. So the first step really is deciding which one of these you're going to feed.
And this whole idea, it's not new. It's rooted in these foundational texts, like this powerful quote from Philippians. And notice, it's not framed as just a hopeful little thought. It's a declaration. It's saying that your own personal strength can be magnified by a higher power to make pretty much anything achievable.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in real life? Abstract ideas are one thing, but stories make it all real. So let's look at 3 incredible examples of this very principle in action.
And here they are. These stories are just, wow. Think about it. A shepherd boy going up against a seasoned giant warrior. A woman told she could never have children who ends up becoming a mother of 6. A blind man who gets his sight back. In every single one of these cases, the rational, logical outcome was failure, or things just staying the same. But faith created a pathway to overcome what looked like a permanent, unchangeable reality.
So after hearing stories like that, this question really hits home, doesn't it? It challenges us. It makes us think that maybe, just maybe, our current circumstances aren't the final word on what our future holds.
All right, so we get what faith is, and we've seen these incredible examples. But so what? How does this internal belief actually translate into something real in the world? How does it become more than just a feeling you have inside?
And this quote from Mother Teresa, it's like the perfect bridge for that question. It lays it out so clearly. Faith isn't meant to be a passive state. It's a catalyst. It's something that has to lead to an outward expression.
So check out this progression. It's so simple, but so powerful. It all starts with faith, that core foundational belief. That belief then fuels the emotion of love. But it can't stop there. That love is then expressed through service, through real, tangible actions that help other people. So you see, faith isn't just about what you believe, it's about what you do because of that belief. Okay, so now let's bring this all home. Let's make it about you. Understanding all these concepts is a great first step, but the real power comes from actually applying it. The next few slides are designed to be a moment of personal reflection to help you start building your own framework for strengthening your faith.
First things first, let's go back to basics. What's your foundation? What's the core message you've always heard or understood about faith? You've got to know your starting point before you can build on it.
Okay, now let's get personal. Forget the textbook definitions for a second. If you had to explain it to someone, how would you define faith in your own words? When you can own the definition, it becomes a much more powerful tool in your own life.
And this is a big one. Let's talk about that battle we mentioned earlier, faith versus fear. Take a second and really think. In what specific parts of your life does fear pop up and challenge your ability to believe that a different outcome is even possible?
All right, and that leads us to the final question. And honestly, it's the most important one. Knowing all of this, what is one single, practical step you can take, maybe even today, to strengthen your faith? Answering that question for yourself, that's the key to turning all of this into a real strategy for your life. Something to really think about.